Hello again, YouTube. This is Dr. Kendo, and I'm here with Scribblenauts Unlimited, the Object Editor commentaries, where I create your favorite characters from movies, gaming, TV shows. I just make whatever is most popular or most requested by the most amount of different viewers in the comments section each week. And right here, we're starting off with the head coach for the first character of many in the Suicide Squad. So this is the Suicide Squad cast, now putting on a thief, the female thief arm right here on the head coach source. This is going to be for Deadshot. Deadshot is awesome, and you can see here the head coach kind of has this piece that goes over the middle of the shirt right there, and so that I thought was kind of good for that like bulletproof vest looking or armor plate, chest right there that Deadshot has amidst that red shirt. And we're going to put combat boots on right here for the legs, of course, just kind of keeping on the original legs, but we're going to put the combat boots over them. A manticore, if you take the green kind of two-tail piece thing, it has two pieces on it is what I'm saying, and it's right next to the body of the manticore. Well, it's the tail kind of base piece. And then a golf ball right here is going to be for the base of the gloves, and we are going to put fingers on, and basically the way that we're going to do that is by taking these 29-page library arm shapes, one from the third page for the thumbs, and then from the 20th page for the other fingers. 20th page kind of down in the bottom middle. And so these, again, it's from the 29-page library, which is basically just a collection of shapes and various things. It has a lot of arms and body parts and whatnot, but just all sorts of various shapes. But anyway, here we're kind of increasing the size of the arms a little bit, but I also put an electronic on both arms. The electronic is supposed to be like those little guns attached to his arm, and we're going to take that same manticore tailpiece that I originally used as knee guards. Well, we're going to put those on as shoulder pads as well, copied up there, and it's looking good. It's coming out pretty well, but we have a few more things to put on the design here. So, of course, minus sign was for some stripes on the shirt, but then marshmallow is going to be for the stripes on the other side here. It's to our right, Deadshot's left. Marshmallow instead of minus sign because the minus sign would be hanging off the body or whatever unless you made it extremely tiny, but the marshmallow basically gets that same striped look to it. And so then we've added clip twice, a clip like the magazine clip. That's twice there on the leg. Front leg. And so now we're going to do some editing in the properties editor and scripting and stuff like that after just a few minor adjustments. And whenever I'm at this part of the video, I always like to read background information and fun facts about whatever it is we are creating. So here we go. Following some of the events of the Batman vs. Superman movie, intelligence operative Amanda Waller comes up with the plan to assemble Task Force X to, as the trailers have said, have a team of some very bad people who she thinks can do some good. The team of dangerous criminals consists of Harley Quinn, Deadshot, El Diablo, Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, and Slipknot. Those of you who have seen the movie will easily find out why we don't really see much of Slipknot at all. So I'm not going to spend too much time on his design compared to the others, but anyway, personally, I actually really liked the movie, but some of you may know that critics are wishing Suicide Squad would commit suicide of its own. I know that fans were calling for the heads of Rotten Tomatoes who have given the film a 26% rating, which is low. And the more you look into what other critics say, from IGN to Metacritic to Rolling Stone, most all of them seem to be giving it quite lackluster reviews. And look, everyone's entitled to feel how they feel about it and have their opinions, but what I'll say here is that critics aren't always right, I've seen great movies in the past where critics slap on the 1 or 2 stars out of 5 and I end up loving them. But if you're at all interested in the thought of the Suicide Squad comics, characters, or in this movie, I personally think that the film is worth your time. I won't go on record saying it's the best comic universe film of the past year or anything like that, but it was definitely worth it. And doing these creations has only just reinvigorated my feelings about the movie, so 2 thumbs up from me. We've just added a wishbone right here to be the kind of mustache connecting to the goatee. That is actually a goatee stamp right here for the head. The head was a source object, and a golden egg is kind of the main round part of the head for Deadshot. Confetti is what we're putting on right now after we just put down nose and lips to be for the nose and the lips, but the confetti is basically some stubble and some hair, facial hair kind of here coming up from the goatee, and 2 chicken nuggets are going to be for 2 ears. I'm going to type in a goldfish, and we'll take the bottom fin of the goldfish, paint it white, and that's going to be for his whites of the eyes right here, so we'll put it on both sides of that. And then on the 20th page, again from the 29-page library, you can grab these arm shapes in the bottom middle and paint them black. Those are going to be like for some eyebrows right here. Just slanted them down a little bit so it looks kind of more like he has a sullen face. BB is going to be for his iris, or the colored part of his eyes. Jellyfish, we're going to take that kind of base tentacle piece. It's like the upper tentacle piece close to the jellyfish's body, and that's going to be for some lines there in the ear. You can see that I used about 4 of them, and then we're going to put down a dot, and that's going to be some more, I guess, design in the ear right there for the chicken nugget ear. And a PEA is going to be the last 2 stamps we can do for the pupil on both of the eyes. So there's Deadshot Head. Whenever you're creating a head and a body separately in Scribblenauts Unlimited, you want to be sure on your head object to go down to the Equipment tab and check off the 3rd circle, fill that in. It says can be worn on the face like glasses, and that's what you want to do for the scripting. We'll start off with Matt Cox as the source object for the next item, but basically I should say that whenever you create a head and a body separately in Scribblenauts, the reason that you would probably do that is to get around the stamp limitations in this game. This game does have a limit to how many stamps you can put down. For example, this witch doctor, we took the arm of a witch doctor, and that's basically going to be the one of the arms for Killer Croc. Well, that witch doctor arm is a stamp. Anything that we're putting on right now to make our object is a stamp, and so we are limited in how many we can use. So again, if you do the head separately, you can get a lot more detail on the head and put that basically attached to your body at the end using that scripting that I just told you guys about. The cleric is actually going to be for the legs right here for Killer Croc, but we've also put down shoe for his shoes. And then a peach, we can color kind of the pit or that like open part of the peach right there. We can color it sort of skin colored for Killer Croc. This is Killer Croc's skin, of course, which is like a gray green. But then we're going to take 10th page arm shapes from the 29-page library. It's a back arm of a mutant. If you type in mutant, it'll look somewhat similar if you take its arm, but basically you can go to the 10th page of the 29-page library, bottom middle, get it from there. You can see that a lot of this kind of characters patterns and stuff have this net or webbing pattern right there, and even for the jacket, because his jacket has that like croc skin texture to it. And so then I took the back tail piece of a cobra, so the very last tail part of a cobra, to be like his hoodie kind of, we're gonna have his hood be down basically, so his head is gonna be exposed or whatever, but that's the hood part kind of going around his neck. And a glow stick, not only twice painted black down there on the pants, but we also did kind of a golden one for some design there on his jacket, and it all looks good. I did just want to quickly interject here while we're doing more properties, and I wanted to make a statement. I don't believe that it's happened too often, but it's a critique that sticks in my head because usually it's said to me in a really rude way, but I have maybe like 210 videos in this series alone at this point, and probably like 3 of them have anything remotely close to a swear word, and if it's a real curse word, I've got it bleeped. An example of this is that crap, to me, is not a swear. Anyway, you guys asking me to create things like Suicide Squad and Deadpool, among many other properties like them, is kind of a bit of a hypocrisy in telling me not to swear, because these movies use much worse language than I ever do in this series. And again, I've bleeped the few times that I've said anything, and that's not to mention that movies and games like this also have the gory and sexual visual component, whereas my series does not. I'd be fine if people just asked me, but never has this criticism of my language, which again is only in like 3 videos out of 210, but never has that criticism actually come constructively or in a way that is asking. It's always telling me how to run my channel and threatening me and basically saying things that are just designed to hurt me in the end. So I'm taking this time right now to say thanks, but there's no need to tell me what I can and can't say. Again, not that I have even said something bad in more than a very small handful of episodes. Anyway, let's move on. We're going with the head as the source object with a dragon egg as kind of the main head shape with that netting web pattern there for the kind of scaly look of Killer Croc's head, and goldfish bottom fin, once again painted white, is going to be some eye parts. And then we've taken the body of a rabbit. You can just grab in the middle right there for a rabbit, and that's going to be the nose of Killer Croc right here. He's got a big nose. And then we're going to go with cobia and take the fin right here. It's kind of a fin on its side in the front, and that's going to be the mouth. And then chicken nugget will be some ears, so on both sides of the head. P, once again, is going to be for some, I guess this time it's going to be like the iris and the pupil. His eyes are kind of dark, so we don't really have to use many other stamps to distinguish between that. Cuttlefish, if you take the kind of pointed ends of its little antenna in the front, or tendrils, those are going to be teeth right here for Killer Croc. I love that. So, he's got all these little teeth. And then we've also, of course, course, added a 10th page mutant arm from the 10th page of the 29-page library. Those are like his big eyebrows there above his eyes, and it all looks good. So, of course, in the properties and the scripting, you want to go to the equipment tab. Can be worn on the face like glasses. Just be sure you do that on all of your head objects for today's creations. And so then we're going to start off with a ghost hunter. You're going to want the female ghost hunter for one of my favorite characters from the movie, which is Harley Quinn. And so, of course, the female ghost hunter for obvious reasons. But we're going to paint kind of we took off all of the limbs, we took off the head, and I'm going to type in a tube top, but we painted part of the pants right now blue, but then the other part red, because her little shorts right there have both colors. And so then I'm going to take the letter I, and that letter I is basically going to be for her stomach. You know, she's showing stomach right there, and we're going to take choker. The choker is going to be a piece of the belt right here, so we're going to move that down a little bit beneath the letter I. That belt has these studs on it, and so for that, I actually just kind of did a checker color pattern on both sides of the choker. And then I typed in a cucumber. We made that kind of a dark red for the top of her shirt. Jack is one of Maxwell's brothers. Like 3 different options come up for Jack, so of course you want the brother Jack right there. We took his back arm to be for Harley Quinn's back arm right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in cobia, once again grabbing that fin, and we're going to make that be like a bracelet here on the back arm. And so of course color it accordingly. Sometimes you may have to move it out to see everything that you're doing and then move it back into place like I just did. And then we'll take Glum. We'll take the front arm of Glum for Harley Quinn's front arm. Go figure. But yes, so we've mostly got that into place. I'm just trying to size it as best as I can to be the same as the other arm. But here we're going to put down a minus sign to be some more of her shirt right there with the red sleeves. Anne, that's A-N-N. Anne is going to be for the legs. We'll take the legs of Anne and then paint the heels black right there, and we'll type in cucumber once again. Kind of give it that zebra color pattern or whatever. That's going to be for some, I guess, design of like black and white stripes and things on her heels / shoes. You know, her shoes are heels, but they are very extravagant looking. They look pretty awesome. But we're going to do Thresher Shark and take that back under fin, I guess, of the Thresher Shark right there, and that'll be for some more of the heels design. Foot bone is what we're going to use. I haven't used this stamp in this series before, but the reason that I'm going to use it is just to show off another kind of stamp you can use for like laces on a shoe. You know, you can do this probably in several different ways in this game, but that was just one that I thought was unique. I think one of the jobs that I have in this series is to kind of find a balance between doing stamps that I have used before, but also showing you guys new stamps as much as I can. So whenever I can come up with something new for you and apply it to these designs, I am happy to do so. Bodybuilder, we took the back arm of a bodybuilder. It almost looks like that little peanut shape there above the letter I and below the HQ. I know that her shirt does not say HQ on it. We can't turn the letters small enough to, and we also don't have the stamp space to do the daddy's little monster text. So HQ, well, headquarters, but I did it for Harley Quinn. That's why I did HQ. And so you could do whatever you want in that spot. You know, if you want to take like maybe a stitch, you could do like stitch and put it underneath that cucumber, and it would just look like writing was underneath there, but you know, you can't see it all maybe. It's kind of just up to you really what you want to do on that design, and for that purpose, I'm making it so that whenever she gets damaged, basically loses or gains health, she'll not only add the adjective of brave, but she expresses an emotion of the kind of crazy, that circle that kind of is like a loopy feeling. Anyway, we'll name it Harley Quinn right there for the body. That all looks good. Starting off with the head as the source object. We're going to type in Cybele, or is it Sybil? Leon. You saw how to spell it on screen right there. But that'll be kind of the main part of the head right here. And of course, you can probably notice that all of the skin tone pieces for Harley Quinn, you know, anywhere where I'm doing skin color, it's very almost white skin tone because she's got the bleach skin. Anyway, for the pigtail hairbands right there, you know, holding the pigtails in place, those are cesium. It's spelled sort of like casium. Please notice on screen how to spell that. And then we're going to take a horn. Of course, there's 3 different options for horn as well, so you want the animal horn. And we're trying to line them up as much as we can like they're coming out of the cesium. This is a little bit difficult to try to get, I guess, the right distance and spacing and putting them down low or high enough, you know, to basically where the hair will look realistic. But in this game, same. I think that I've got it to where I want it to be. And of course, just type in hair for the colored parts of the hair coming off of that animal horn. A surfboard is going to be for like the two strips of hair on both sides of her head coming down kind of right here next to the eyes, which are the goldfish fin once again. And we're going to type in a dot for her little nose and a heart. The shape, of course, is for the little heart shape, the black heart on her face. Lips are for her lips. We only really need to see one ear on this side because the other one, it's like it's covered up right now. So for the one ear kind of right here, I did chicken nugget once again. And then on the 22nd page of the 29-page library, almost near the bottom middle, I think it's second from the bottom row, is this almost mostly straight arm, but it does have a little bend on both sides of it. And so that's going to be like we did it 4 times actually for both eyes because it's like around her eyes, you know, she has that makeup that basically has the pink on one side and the blue on the other. And so then you can do golf ball, you can just do ball, you know, whatever you want to do for kind of the iris or the colored part of her eyes, but then a P for the pupil. And now I'm typing in a fang. I want her lips to have a little bit more of like a smile to them. The lips kind of looked a little bit more neutral mouthed. And so I did the fang for like kind of a curl up there for the smile. And so obviously this is a very long episode, has lots of creations, and we're making heads and bodies separate, so this is definitely going to be on the longer side, so I can't go super in depth with all of them and make this like 50 minutes long. But here's the Joker, starting off with the detective as the source object, and then you type in a leaf, and that's sort of for some tattoos here on his chest up at the top. The letter K I put right here because it's like he has Joker across his belly, but in essence we can just see the K right now because his jacket is covering the other parts. So this is like his jacket is open, showing his skin right there. And grills, you know, he's got like a smile down there, just kind of where the pants are meeting his belly. And if you type in fingernail, actually let's make this one word, there we go. And fingernail is right here on the clown nose hands. And so I did that 4 times right there to be like those tats that are on his fingers. And of course from the geometry library of shapes, you know, you can grab this diamond shape right there. Okay, I'll put that up. And then for the other arm, you know, on the other side, I did actually a smile for one, and then we put some lips around it. Basically, for the lips, the way that I did that was just putting 29-page library arm shapes, again, from that 20th page, bottom middle row. That is, those arms just kind of painted that reddish look for the lipstick around that smile, but there is kind of a, I think I'm gonna do pretty good at not spoiling things for the movie, but you can even see in pictures of the Joker, he has a mouth on one of his hands on the back side of the palm. And basically everything that I am talking about or doing has been seen in the trailers, or you can see just on Google images of the promotional, you know, posters and artwork and stuff for the movie. Supermodel, taking that back leg of a male supermodel, is actually the legs for the Joker. And the detective actually does have a shirt underneath, you know, from the jacket and whatnot, and a tie, but I transitioned that to basically be more designs of his tattoos just by coloring them the color of his bleachy skin. So he also has the very white skin. And so then we'll make the Joker's head real fast, but the Joker, not only starting off with a head as the source object, but a golden egg and a nose for the nose, and then dots are going to be for the big. We're going to make his eyes really big and his mouth pretty big right here and open, and then chicken nugget ears like I've been doing for some of the other characters. And so here we're typing in faux hawk, and so this isn't the exact hair I would say that the Jared Leto Joker has in the movie, but this is a little bit more to the design that I think the Joker should look like. So I'm almost fusing like a Joker of comic days or video game days and comparing it with Jared Leto's Joker, but we're mostly staying to the movie design. So with that, I took grills with a Z for the teeth, and you actually do that 4 times because his teeth do have the kind of silveriness for caps on the teeth. And then I did 3 cucumbers, so that's the kind of lipstick around his teeth. Cucumber on the top, cucumber on the side, and cucumber on the bottom. So 20th page, 29-page library arm shapes. Once again, that's to be for like these eyelids on the upper and lower parts of his eyes. So then if you want to type in a pearl, you can do that for the eyes inside. You can also do any of the golf ball or BB, anything that you want, but I like the kind of pearl for the shininess and stuff like that to get some more details. And we'll do P once once more, PEA, to be the pupil right here. Now just kind of adjusting and moving things to where I think they need to go, because we've got most of it in right now, but I'll put a little bit more of the details, like this fingernail right here is going to be for some more makeup design right there, just below those eyelids. That's looking good. So I like it. I think that it's turning out pretty well. I'm just making the last few adjustments, and okay, we'll reach the stamp limit with this last stamp piece, which is going to be a stitch. Normally it says damaged there on his head, and so I'm doing the idea that I gave you earlier with the stitch to be like text that, you know, can't really be made out right now. And so Joker head is what we'll call it, and of course, equipment tab can be worn on the face like glasses. You know what to do. Okay, so we're going to take a veterinarian as the source object. You want the male veterinarian? Well, you could probably do it with the female one too, but you can also just type in vet, V-E-T, and so put that front leg actually behind the jacket right here, and then color the jacket kind of this black color, and this is going to be for Captain Boomerang. And so I took a back tail piece of a cobra, just like we did earlier with Killer Croc. Well, this is going to be like a popped collar sort of look for Captain Boomerang. A squid, that base tentacle piece that's close to the body, upper tentacle, is going to be for the line down here, basically where his zipper is on his shirt. And then a detective, we can take the arms of the detective, and that's for the male detective, and that looks good. So I've put those down, just kind of making some size adjustments and things. And so then going into the 29-page library, third page, we can grab that kind of thumb-looking arm. That'll be for like this guard here on his forearm, just above his wrist. That's for the back arm. And I'm doing the letter I right now. That's going to be for some tape here above this shoe on this front leg. 27th page of the 29-page library, there's an arm in the top right. That's going to be for the shoes, but we're also going to use this for fingers in a little bit. So that looks good. I'm just sort of moving that where it needs to go and sizing it appropriately. We'll go ahead and go back to the 10th page of the 29-page library. Yes, how many times can I say 29-page library in one episode? We use it almost every episode. You know, we use something from this collection of shapes. And so that 10th page arm was used once again for some tape. It was on the back leg there for some tape. And so another letter I for some more tape. 27th page arm is for the fingers right there on this front arm right now. And I'm going to use a pimple to be like this ring that he's got there on his pinky, a pinky ring. And so we'll put in the letter T and the letter P. Both of that will have kind of a P and a T right there for Captain. His shirt does say that, but of course his jacket is covering up most of that right now. And so then I took a motorcycle glove to be his back. You know, he's got a glove on one hand right there with the guard. And so Pimple was actually the studs in that guard right there, I guess, securing it to his jacket or whatever. And so then, of course, under the properties for behavior, we did use and then throwing weapons, of course, because that implies that he can use boomerangs. And so whenever he is going to lose or gain health, basically when he's attacked, he will also throw out a metal boomerang as a projectile. And so we will now go on to his head, of course, with a head as the source object. Golden egg is the main base of the head. And then a flying fish, I took that top fin. It's kind of curled with some lines in it. That'll be like this beanie that he's wearing or whatever. And we're going to have his hair kind of sticking out in the front as it does in the movie. And so there, that looks good. So hair was the stamp for that, as well as 29-page library arm shapes. The middle body piece of a worm, painted white, is going to be for his eyes, the big main part of his eyes right there. A nose for the nose, ear for the ear. This time instead of chicken nuggets, just so you can see what the ear stamp looks like. And then we're going to type in a boomerang for Captain Boomerang. Go figure. And that's going to be this mustache right there, which will connect down to his facial hair on the side, which we're going to get to. A cattail is what I'll use for the arm. You can also grab that from the 29-page library, or you can just type in cattail and, of course, not go with the plant, but actually go with the cat's tail. Golf ball is what I'll do for the iris right here on both eyes. And so then sideburns. Scribblenauts Unlimited, it's like one of those things where you may want to just do what's most obvious, like an ear for an ear or a sideburns for sideburns. But typically in my series, I do think kind of outside of the box, like for instance, using that chicken nugget as ears. Well, Scribblenauts Unlimited, sometimes I do go with what is obvious and sometimes I don't. A lot of the times I don't, but it's kind of finding that right balance and just finding what you like as a creator for your design. I typed in silica, and silica will actually get us this like almost Utapam shape, or basically I'm going to use it for like the goatee down there, his chin hair. And so 29-page library, 20th page, of course, arms for the eyebrows, but then on that same 20th page, there's also an arm that's like mostly straight, top right corner, and we use that for the scars that he's got there above his eyebrow and also on his nose. And so that's all looking good. It looks like our design is mostly done, so can be worn on the face like glasses is the properties that we gave it, once again, for our head object. All right, we're starting to get very close to the end. We're gonna go with a bully as the source object, not implying anything about Jay Hernandez's character, which is El Diablo, another one of my favorites from the movie. We'll give him this zebra color pattern and stuff for the skin there below where his neck would be, but then I typed in Shane Whitfield, which is one of the Fifth Cell developers. We kept the bully's back arm, but we took away its front arm and put the Shane Whitfield front arm instead. And so that zebra color pattern is basically supposed to look like tattoos and things, because, you know, he's tatted up. And this is interesting. To get baggy pants right here, you know, I took off the bully's legs, but then to get the baggy pants, I basically went with a bodybuilder, the back arm. You know, we used that earlier on Harley Quinn for some rips in her shirt. Well, this time it's for the pants for El Diablo. A chicken leg is going to be the main part of his shoes, with the sole or the base bottom of the shoes being a glow stick painted white. And then the receiver glove is what we're putting on now for his hands. And the good thing about the receiver glove in this particular case, it doesn't work all the time, but the receiver glove does have like some square patterns to it. You know, it's not just one solid color. Well, that basically is going to be like his tattoos, you know, again, so it's like an extension of his tattoos. So again, in this case, it worked out really well. We put down a skull for his tats. You know, he's got 3 skull tattoos there on his arm. For the back arm, well, for us, we just did 1 so that we'd have enough stamp space. A wristband, we did 3 wristbands connected together to be that kind of chain bracelet that he's wearing there on his back arm. His necklace right here is being done by just doing pimple, basically several times, 4 on each side. And so now for his scripting, we'll just kind of do some light scripting and basic things, but I'm pretty sure this was a fan favorite. You know, I don't know which character you guys liked the most from the movie, if you've seen it, or even if you haven't seen it, you know, which character is like seemingly your favorite so far, but I have a feeling El Diablo is going to be definitely a fan favorite for this movie. So when he gets attacked, basically the script is when this object loses or gains health, he's going to add an adjective of brave so that he won't run away from the fights, but also fire breathing. So this will make it basically look like he's shooting out the fire like he can in the movie. And so then I have him, of course, shooting out a projectile of a big fireball as well. So now we're showing off the Diablo head right here for El Diablo. And I'll basically just kind of take away the color of each kind of part that is on this creation. You can see that there are fingernails right there for like these skull teeth, a nose for the nose, scorpion's kind of bottom middle tail piece is there for some of that tattoo artwork. It's basically like his head is a skeleton almost. Well, that's like the nose hole over his nose though. You can see here I'm taking away a jellyfish end tentacle piece. It has that like triangular diamond shape on the end of it. Well, I thought that looked really good and appropriate for that design. 29-page library arm shapes are for his lips. We did 2 of them for the lips. Warmer is not only there at the bottom near his chin, but also above one of his eyes. You can see it's that kind of like 2 almost stripes right there. They have stripes within them, but we painted them black. And one of the warmers there above his eye is next to a sickle. The sickle is like that scythe tattoo. And then a tiger shark. We took the fins of a tiger shark, that top fin. That's going to be for like the tattoos on his temples right there. And so here's some text on screen to show what most of those objects were. A donut was also for some of the tattooing on his chin. Basically, his chin in the movie says Diablo on it. It might even say El Diablo. But since we didn't have the stamp space or we couldn't shrink them small enough, I've just kind of done a collection of stamps to convey that there is text down there. For this next creation, you're going to need to take these following steps. We're going to type in a motorcycle glove and go ahead and edit the glove right here. You're going to want to press the trash bag in the top right. It's that little icon. It'll make basically 2 gloves show up. Then you're going to want to tap or click on that glove to our right that shows the back of the palm, you know, the back of the hand right there. And it will then appear if you copy it or just edit it in some way. I usually just copy that glove to the right. Then as you just saw, it appears in our left panel of stamps that we can use when we press that stamp icon kind of in the middle of the screen to the right side a little bit, that stamp icon. But anyway, we're starting off with a sunbather. You want the female sunbather as the source object for the next character, which is Katana. And then we're going to type in bear after we've removed the limbs, except for the legs, and we removed the head as well right here. And so when you type in bear, of course, just grab that, the legs that are in the front, well, grab the one that's behind, you know, the one that's in the back of the front legs. And there's like an upper leg kind of muscly piece of the bear. It's almost like as if it was the bear's bicep. Grab that piece. Paint it black. That's going to be part of basically the jacket that she's wearing. But then Katana also has this like ribbony belt. And so for that, we did a black belt, painted it red. Now Buzz, that's Maxwell's brother, Buzz. We took his legs, so you can just grab his back leg, make that both of her legs right there. I copied the bear piece to make the jacket parts on the other side now, basically behind the body, behind the main part of the torso. A ninja, we actually took the male ninja's front arm, and we're going to do that for the front and back arms of our katana creation right here. I just wanted to get that motorcycle glove out and in the right spot because we're going to need to kind of make this arm and glove look like they're attached, obviously. Now for the ninja's hand, you know, we made that kind of her skin color and stuff, so we do want a little bit of skin showing, but not a whole lot on the arm. Basically, there's going to be just a thin level between the glove and the jacket. And so she's got these flower emblems all over her outfit, so with the jacket having that kind of golden flower, I thought that a really good way to do that was to use the boutonniere, so you'll see how to spell boutonniere on screen, and we're using that 10th page arm from the 29-page library, that mutant one, the little green one. Well, I painted it white and put it on the sleeve here for the front arm, and then as well, it's also going to be used for the ribbon kind of going up over her shoulders and things to her back. And so then we're also taking a kiwi, of course the fruit kiwi, and that's going to be like these knee pad guards right there on her knees with the boutonniere flower once again over those. And then I'm going to take a ribbon and make that the piece in the back where it's kind of all tied together right there. And so then we can put down a katana, which is great because her name is Katana, but this is actually for the sword itself. This to me looks a little bit distracting, but if you want to not have the katana, you can take that away certainly from your design. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it since I know probably a lot of people would complain if I didn't have it on the final design, but certainly you can just imagine that katana not being there. But of course, after the scripting, we'll name her Katana and then check out how to create her head. Of course, with the head as the source object, then we typed in alter girl, and you can take the alter girl's head, basically put it behind all of this stuff, just paint the hair black. And I thought that that was a better look than the original head that I had started out with, which is Brittany Aubert. Brittany Aubert is one of the Fifth Cell developers, and if you can see right here, basically when I had the head on, I thought that Brittany's head looked a little bit too fat by the cheeks and stuff. You know, Katana doesn't have such fat cheeks like that. The shape, I guess, was the wrong shape that I wanted. So certainly I'm just giving you that as another option. Now a scorpion, the upper middle tail piece right here, you can see me messing with it. That's actually, I put that just below the mask that you see right now, which is a walrus fin. But in essence, that scorpion tail piece was the nose right there in combination with this jellyfish upper tentacle base piece, which you can see me grabbing and typing in right now. It's again that same tentacle piece that's kind of near the body of the jellyfish. Well, we use that also for the mouth, but also the nose line right there within the mask. And so as I mentioned, it was a walrus to be the mask, and there's a fin, you know, its back fin there. And the squid tentacle was also a piece of hair, a hair strand. This pearl is going to be for the circle emblem that's there on the mask in the middle, kind of on her forehead. A black mamba is actually the eye holes and, you know, the white part of her eyes right there. And I thought that that was a pretty good kind of look to the movie design and everything for Katana, so I like that. A golf ball is the inside right there for the color. And then we've also used a surfboard once again, kind of like with Harley Quinn. Well, in the same way, there's some strands of hair right here going over the mask and over that eye, kind of closer to us on the left side there. It would be our left, the character's right, so the surfboard works well for that. But here, as I mentioned, you know, we've got Slipknot kind of on screen in between Captain Boomerang and the Joker. I didn't think that his design needed a whole lot. He wasn't in the movie a whole lot, but just wanted to have him there. I mean, this episode is already long enough, seriously. But I just wanted to have him there to acknowledge that, yes, he was in the movie. He was technically part of the team, but we're focusing on the main characters right here that were within the team. And that was an example. I just edited Captain Boomerang. You could see that at the beginning, his head was a little bit kind of to the side. It was a little bit to our left too much. And so I edited the torso, and basically you can turn on the green grids. The green grids basically will show you the various parts that you can attach stamps to on any object. And so I just took the green head grid grid and moved it a little bit to our right so that Captain Boomerang's head would be basically where we need it to be. And so this all looks good. There's the full team in action. Check it out. We'll put some of them to the test in battle, but again, this video is already way too long, so I won't spend a whole lot of time on this, but we're gonna make this Thomas the Tank engine, which I made in the Ant-Man episode. We're gonna make that Thomas the Tank engine angry and living. And so here I need to put him down there. Okay, and so El Diablo, this is to show off some of his fire breathing. He's actually keeping our trained friend at bay. I need to put him, there we go. Okay, now you saw the epic fire breathing adjective being added. That was amazing. And yes. So El Diablo, I like it. Let's go ahead and put down a machine gun to test out Deadshot. Of course, I have it in his behaviors that he'll use guns, so it looks like it works. That's great. We put down the machine gun and he went and grabbed it, which is awesome. So I'll go ahead and put down an angry strong man. We'll put that on the field right here, and Deadshot's going to town. Good stuff. And he should defeat that pretty easy. I think he's going to. So that's good. Deadshot, success. I guess the other one we'll test out is Captain Boomerang. Here I have this boomerang down here. I'm going to put that on the ground next to him, and it looks like he is using that, so his behavior script is also working. We'll go ahead and I guess have him fight something. We'll do an angry badger just out of randomness. I've actually had this before. Okay, he threw the boomerang way off, but that's okay. He used it. You know, that's what I'm looking for. And so the angry badger will not live to tell its tale of anger and badger. Okay, but I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed this video, these many creations. This is one of the longest videos in this series, along with the Loud House and Teen Titans episodes. Those ones were also pretty long episodes. I know that somebody's gonna say something about Enchantress. Well, be careful for spoilers, although this is something that is on the wiki. It's on any researchable information about the movie, and it's pretty much, in essence, gathered through even some of the trailers, probably, that Enchantress is actually the villain to the villains. You know, it's like Enchantress is what we're fighting. And so I may create Enchantress in like a speed crate or something, but I did not want the Enchantress to be part of the Suicide Squad main team, because while she was initially recruited to be part of the team, she does not end up that way. But yes, just one other announcement. My birthday is tomorrow, August 22nd. I'm turning 30. I'm so old, and I feel 30. So yes, August 22nd, 1986. I share the same birth year with several famous video game characters. But anyway, I'm gonna do a stream at some point. If you guys are not part of the either Kendopolis Steam group, I'll put a link to that in the description. But that has an announcement whenever there's a stream, and I'll put the birthday stream on there. But also, the way to stay up to date on that is following the Dr. Kendo social media pages. That would be the Twitter and the Facebook page, and you're not just gonna get stream updates. I mean, you'll get updates on all sorts of stuff, and sometimes I either give little hints as to what the item is going to be for the week. Sometimes, you know, I just do lots of fun behind the scenes type stuff. So please also find those in the description. But anyway, I will catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for
road of twists and turns, always anxious to see what's within. We can look ahead to the point of no return, to the rest of our lives as the spectacle begins. I've been down the road